Welcome to this edition of Action Video Game Talk, which is a special crossover with Reploid Productions, and I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
Shane McCree, Proto Guy.
William Bush, Reploid Bill.
And I think later on, if we get to it, we'll have one. Nick will probably join us if we get to it. Yeah, we might be able to just knock these out with
Nick
us.
is at work till like 9, and to be fair, we're filming this at 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's just get into the articles. So let's start off with this announcement from Pac-Man being introduced as a fighter for Super Smash Bros.
Well, Pac-Man, huh?
Yeah, apparently the image and video shown for this look like the Pac-Man world.
Yes.
Version
I
of
have
him.
seen what he looks like. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
It's hard to. I mean, it's Pac-Man.
Yeah.
How hardcore is Pac-Man?
Well, it's not even a hardcore thing.
It's more or less a video game icon.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
that's all it is. It's a video game icon.
I mean, we still got Mega Man in it.
But the video game icon has no arms and no legs.
Normally.
The one that we've been given,
Has arms and legs.
Yeah.
yes.
So I won't know until I play the game and try him out. Will I have a better opinion on him?
Yeah.
I mean, is it cool that they put him in the game? Like I never had a problem with Pac-Man, never once. So I mean, it's kind of neat. When I seen that he was announced, I was like, the first thing I said was, "Really?"
Yeah, I did too. I was
Yeah.
like, for what? Like, why?
I mean, like, there's 100 other video game icons out there, and you picked Pac-Man.
Yeah. I mean,
And even if I agree that I've made the argument before that if he's iconic, especially Nintendo iconic, he deserves to be in there. But now the rules are changing because there's people that are making it in that have nothing to do with video game icons in terms of Nintendo.
Wii
Yeah.
Fit Trainer.
and then I think the
No,
more
that's Wii only. That's Nintendo.
Okay.
some of the more recent ones
But
that they
Mega
added
Man?
was actually like Fire Emblem characters.
And now that I think, okay, I'll even give it to Mega Man. Mega Man got his start on
On
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
He's reminiscent. He makes you feel Nintendo. But
Pac-Man
there are
got it.
characters that have made it into the game that
So-
are just not right. They don't feel Nintendo icon
Sonic?
to me. Well, Sonic is definitely one.
Yeah.
And even if I'm willing to let that go because they were always like, oh, we need Sonic versus Mario. Like, people were freaking out about that.
I mean,
wanted it for
they had it
years.
on the previous Smash Brothers game on the Wii. So.
Right, and even if I'm willing to let that one slide, there are still other characters that make it in that make no sense whatsoever. Like, they're like, oh, Solid Snake. And I'm like,
Solid Snake.
why is he in there? I mean, aside from it being a cool gimmick, and yes, it was cool, he doesn't belong there because the original idea was Nintendo icons battling. No matter how bad they want it, Solid Snake is not a Nintendo icon. Ever.
I mean, for a while he was mostly just Sony. Wasn't he? Yeah.
That was it. He went from computer to somewhat Nintendo to Sony. Two bad games on Nintendo does not warrant him a Nintendo icon.
So then why wasn't he in the PlayStation All-Stars game
And there's another issue. Why didn't he make? Yeah, if you're gonna do it that way, you know who was scheduled for download
Whoa.
for the Nintendo All Stars?
Who's that?
Dart.
From Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
God, that would have been so cool.
in the PlayStation's All-Star Battle Royale.
Yeah, he was gonna be a downloadable.
Well, he
thing.
never came, did he?
From what I understand, we don't get him. But I've never played the game and I don't pay attention to it, so it's possible that it did happen.
It might have
And
been in
because it's
Japan.
something that I don't watch, that I don't pay attention to because it wasn't my game. You know, I never even got to try it.
I played it, and all it made me do was want to play Smash Brothers.
See, I've heard that, and in a way, you've got to understand that that's what it is. It's based on Smash Brothers.
It's a Smash Brothers game with Sony characters.
Right. So I kind of seen that coming.
Yeah.
But I played it and I was like, no, I didn't really care for it. I mean, I like Smash Brothers more.
Yeah, but with Pac-Man being announced for Smash Brothers, it was a bit of a head scratcher. It's like, why? Why the fuck are they throwing in Pac-Man?
Maybe. I don't know.
But then again, Namco Bandai's involved with the production of it too, so.
Yeah.
I think they've lost what the game was about. I really do. I think that over time, they've had people coming in and helping them and do designs and everything like that, and it's no longer, like, I believe, now I'm not going to say I'm an expert here, but I think the first one was really just Nintendo. They weren't, like, teaming up with, like, 30 other companies and whatnot that had big names and whatnot. And now with Namco and whatnot being involved, they're able to slip things in there, and I think that somehow Sega got involved, which is how Sonic got in there. So, like, the idea behind the game has slowly died. Like, Kid Icarus should not have taken that long to get in there, but since Nintendo started putting in people that don't really belong in the battlefield, they got in there. And that's not to say that I don't like these characters, because I know it sounds like I'm dogging it, but it's cool that we got them in there, but it changes what the game was meant to be, and it should, like, follow a different name or something. Super Smash Brothers is no longer relevant.
Well, I mean, at least they're not calling it Nintendo Super Smash Brothers. I mean, that would definitely have
But
the
it's
issue.
implied.
Yeah.
It is implied because a majority of the characters are Nintendo franchised.
I mean, with the original Smash Brothers game on the 64, it was just what,
All
like,
Nintendo
like, wasn't it like 8? Like 8 characters?
8 or 12.
Yeah.
One of those two. And
There was Link, Pikachu,
Bowser, Mario, Luigi, Peach.
no, Peach in the first game?
Was she?
No,
That's not right.
No. Donkey Kong was in it.
Yes.
Donkey Kong. Fox.
Mario, obviously, but
Marth. Or Ike.
No. Wait,
Ness.
Ness. Ness was in the first. I think that's it.
There might have been only 8.
I don't have my Wii, so
Yeah.
I can't tell you. If I had my Wii, I'd load it up right now and I'd tell you, but I don't.
But he, all Nintendo characters. You guys see where Smash Brothers Melee come out? They added more Nintendo characters.
Right?
Then Brawl came out, and Brawl added like Snake, Sonic. So then it started not being just strictly Nintendo characters.
it more or less became open to
whoever wants to get in there.
Anybody who's
Whoever can offer to advertise for the company.
yes, anybody who Nintendo's worked with. You know, that says Sega doesn't make their own consoles anymore. They just make games for other people's consoles.
Yeah.
Yep, and they got in there.
It was easy for Sonic to get in that game. And Sonic was actually one of the better characters, I thought. I thought he was a sweet character. But, for the most part, Pac-Man, I'll have to try him out. Is he going to... I'm assuming he's also going to be for the 3DS.
so far as they said, every character that's being announced will be on both systems.
So the 3DS...
Yes.
The 3DS drops in October.
And then I think the Wii U one is November.
If they,
Or December?
I have that. All they said was winter. They haven't given an official release date yet. But October is when the 3DS will drop, and I'll try him out and see what he's like.
Of course, there's also been recently they also announced in the UK there's going to be a special 3DS with it preloaded into it.
I seen that, and I didn't know it was UK. I thought it was for us too.
No, so far it's just for the UK.
That's the special one.
Yeah, it's got like
The red one with the
red one with
The only reason I wasn't bringing that up is because I thought it was going to be an article in itself.
No.
Well, okay.
Yeah, might as well
I
bring
was
that
to
up on
say
here.
that thing, I was kind of pissed when I seen it because
A lot of
I
people
got
are pissed.
like that Pokemon came out and I was like, I need that. I just got a 3DS and I was liking it. But to me, I needed a little bit bigger screen. Like, it's not even so much of my eyes going bad or whatever. It's like the screen on the 3DS was very small, and it was kind of throwing me off on different games. So, especially with the dual screen. I don't like the dual screen thing at all, but that's a different topic at all.
Yeah.
My girlfriend wanted a 3DS, and I was like, opportunity arises.
Here.
So I was like, I need an excuse to buy this new 3DS, and you need a 3DS, and we both want to get Pokemon X and Y on release date. Here you go. And I gave that to her and bought that one, and I was real happy with it. But then they announced this awesome red 3DS XL that has all these characters on the front of it and looks awesome. And you know how many years it's really taken for actual special systems to show up?
Let alone, well, in America, it takes a while.
No, I mean period.
Oh, period?
Well, lately...
See that Xbox? That is the limited edition Resident Evil Xbox.
Which is just...
It's red.
Red.
That's it. There's no emblem, no logo, nothing special. It doesn't make any noises. It came with no games, nothing like that. Oh, I'm sorry, it came with Resident Evil 5, but there's nothing about it. When people come over, all they do is they go, "Oh, that's pretty sweet, you got a red Xbox?" That's as far as it goes.
And this is the original Xbox model.
Yeah, there's
Not the
nothing
Slim or anything
special
like that.
about it.
But
It's red.
what's pissing me off lately is Europe.
Europe's getting a lot of
They've been getting
stuff
like Hyrule Warriors. They're getting a collector's edition. It comes. I mean, it may not.
What's it come with?
It may not be much, but you know the scarf that Link wears in the game.
You mean the new?
Yes, the Hyrule Warriors. If you've seen any videos, he wears a scarf. It comes with that, and I mean that may not seem like much, but I want a scarf. It has the Triforce on it. I'd wear it. I have a freaking Zelda wallet. I have a Zelda keychain. I love Zelda. You know, I'm not wearing my Zelda shirt, sadly, but I like Zelda. And I wanted to wear the scarf. And when I seen that they were releasing a collector's edition, like for Europe, I'm like, I don't live there.
Yeah.
How about America? We like Zelda more than Europe does.
I think there's a lot of test market stuff that goes down. America has a pretty big industry of buyers. I think that's really what it comes down to. And so they test things out like that in areas where, and this is not 100%, I'm just making an assumption here. I think that they test in areas where if the buying is not good, they didn't lose too much. Like, yeah, it sucks that special edition didn't go over well, but if they bring it over here to America and they make a mass quantity for a market as big as us, and then nobody buys it, they're hurting. Like, that's not good for them. So I think that's honestly a big part of it. I think that they have testing markets, and we're not the testing market. We're the market if it goes over well.
I thought of one other possibility that could happen from this. If we don't get that Super Smash Brothers, once I can talk, that Super Smash Brothers 3DS, knowing how different things can be, they'll probably just give the US like a Super Smash Brothers 2DS.
Or a Wii U.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I don't like that stupid.
Yeah.
Or they could come out with a bundle.
Even though
Wii U.
I don't even use the 3D, and I wouldn't want that stupid 2DS. It looks derpy.
It does, because you can't shut it.
Yeah.
You can scratch your screens up.
And you know what's real funny about that is they started this screen is protected thing, and then Sony messed up when they released the Vita, and they're like, better get a screen protector. Because we ain't closing shit.
Like, Nintendo went from, like, the original Game Boy, which didn't close, obviously.
Yep.
Game Boy Color. Game Boy Advance. Game
then
Boy Advance SP was the first one that shut.
Yeah.
Yes. And
then they went to the DS.
You noticed that the Game Boy Advance didn't sell right. I mean, it was a terrible system. The backlight was awful, non-existent really. The contrast, you had to be very specific in the way you held it. It looked like a friggin' taco. Like the sound. Remember the speakers? Your hands had to be in this really awkward position because the speakers were here, and that's where your thumbs would rest to get to the controls, but they can't be there because you can't hear shit. So you gotta hold it like this, because you gotta be able to get to the shoulder buttons, but you gotta be able to get to these buttons, and you want to be able to hear your game, and then you're playing that one game where they're like, this is innovative. The amount of sunlight actually gives you your energy. And I'm like, so not only can I not hold the fucking thing and not hear the fucking thing, but I have to go outside where I can't see the fucking thing to play the fucking game.
Well, what I didn't like the Game Boy Advance, but what made the SP different is, like I said, it shut, protecting your screen, and if I'm right, it had a rechargeable battery.
Yes, it was the first one
Yep.
that I know of,
Yep.
okay, for portable gaming.
That had a rechargeable. They no longer needed batteries.
And you, like, I was always the kind of person where people would be like, oh, what they need to do, and I'd be like, they're not going to do that because they lose an awful lot of money. But I was wrong, and when I wasn't thinking about it back then, Nintendo doesn't own the battery company. So, in a way, the battery companies were pissed when all of a sudden they were like, by the way, rechargeable battery. And the battery companies were like, fuck me!
And then look after that. And then
Think about how much money. Think back to your childhood.
How many
Think
AA batteries?
Game Boy,
the original
Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket, which, by the way, Game Boy Pocket was my favorite Game Boy they ever released ever. I don't know why.
What about Game Boy? What about the micro Game Boy?
No, Game Boy Pocket, all the way. All the way with the Game Boy Pocket. It was super thin, like almost as thin as just 2 games.
Right.
That was it. The buttons were absolutely perfect. It was just as big as the Game Boy, but slim. It actually did fit right in my pocket, and the screen was no longer green. It was gray. That sounds like no big deal, but when you turned it on, everything looked better. Like, everything seemed sharper because, in the green screens, you got this weird glare where, like, when Richter was walking in Castlevania, he left a line behind him that you could tell was there. So when you were moving quick, like in Mario, you could almost tell there was like an after image on the screen that you were playing on. I hated that. But as soon as you moved to the Game Boy Pocket, that was not there anymore. Everything was gray and built more like on a black and gray scale because it wasn't color yet. And everything was green. Now everything was gray with the little dots, and it didn't cause the blur effects. So everything looked better, sharper, the speaker was louder. Every way, the Game Boy Pocket was better than its predecessor, in every single way.
No. Then, like I said,
And the color got fatter. It doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but to me it kind of was, because I'd spent the last 3 years playing Pokemon Red and Blue and Silver and Gold, and the next thing I knew, they were like, here's Game Boy Color, and I was like, this is kind of heavy in my hands.
Then, when the DS came out, it's still shut, rechargeable battery. From there on, Nintendo was nothing but rechargeable.
Yeah.
Then they had the DSi, the
DSi.
DS Lite.
DS Lite,
then
DSi, DSi XL,
and
then the
3DS,
3DS XL, and then the 2DS,
then all of a sudden they went back to this doesn't shut. Like, why?
But then again, with the pattern that they had with going from like standard to XL, it's like they're probably gonna make a 2DS XL.
They need to shut. I know it doesn't seem like much, but shutting it really does make a difference. You won't scratch your shit up. Like, yeah, the Vita can get scratched up easily because it doesn't have a. And that was the same thing with the PSP.
Well, when you go to a pawn shop, go to a comic book store or a pawn shop, find a PSP, pick it up and look at it. Really look at it. There'll be like scratches and like areas on the sides where it's been dropped and things like that, and it's all okay. They get a little beat up, but then they get more beat up when they're brought into the store and somebody throws it in a box, and they take it out of the box and they put it in the display case, and the screen has got like those fine scratches that are never going to come out. And when the game is on, you don't really notice them, but as soon as you turn the game off, all those scratches. You notice those scratches. And all of a sudden, go look at a Game Boy Advanced SP. It is beat to hell. I mean, beat to hell. The outer screen has barely any paint. There's scratches. Looks like a dog chewed on the end of it. Now open it. The screen is brand new.
I think the SP was a good idea.
Yeah, the SPs also had the different types of models. Like the NES type. I guess you could say the special model. Yeah.
I want to say there was a special model for Zelda, wasn't there?
Yeah, the Zelda
Probably.
NES.
It had the Triforce on the front.
I think
it
there was
gold.
a Pokemon one too.
Yeah, but that's what they've been doing lately. Like when A Link Between Worlds released, they released a new 3DS XL.
No, I mean the SP.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, the
I
SP.
mean, with the whole
Yeah,
special.
yeah.
That's what they've been doing lately. And like I said, Bill got the Pokemon one. I got the Pokemon one. Even Nick's 3DS is the Fire Emblem one. They're coming out with all these stuff. Now we got Pokemon, right? But we're not. But Super Smash Brothers. I mean, I know Pokemon's probably bigger here than Super Smash Brothers. I don't know because those are all, like I said, those are big Nintendo characters that we've had for.
The reason I'm going to say he's right is because Pokemon is still, even present day, the second highest grossing RPG of all time.
Yeah, and Pokemon has
No
been
matter
around
how much
longer.
you think it's child for kids or whatever you have against it or for it, numbers don't lie. And I hate to be one of those guys that's going to quote numbers at you, but numbers just, they don't lie. It is the second highest grossing RPG ever made in the world. And that says something.
But would it be nice to get the 3DS? I mean, I don't know what I do. I got a Pokemon one.
You got the blue.
I got the blue.
You got the blue and I got the red. Yeah, we bought it at almost the same time.
Yep.
In fact, I got mine a day before you, and I told you, I was like, you better get down there right now. They have 2 left.
Yeah, then I asked you what color you got, and you're like, I got red. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I got red because it was the last red. The very last red.
He had 2 blues.
It was the last red in our area. Because I asked, I said, which one's selling better right now? And they said, the red. They said, we are on the very last red, and we had to have this one brought from another GameStop. And I was like, holy shit, give me that one. I was like, if that's the last one, I need it. And I've been like that for a long time. Even if I don't necessarily like that version, if it's the rarest version, I buy it. And not necessarily because it's the rarest, but because I've had things stolen before. And it's easier to track down something that's more difficult to find. Like my specialized Xbox, my original Xbox, I took it to Chicago and had a modifier break the thing open, and he replaced it with a see-through shell with neon green skulls all over it. That was see-through. And an idiot stole it and pawned it at your GameStops. I can't remember which it was. It was at... No, I do. The mall. It was the GameStops in the mall. Not the GameStop that was upstairs that was labeled EB. This was like years back. Yeah. But the one downstairs.
Yep.
It was that.
The one that's still there.
And it was that one that took my stuff. And I remember when I walked in and said, yeah, I'm looking for something that was stolen. It was probably sold here. The guy goes, real special Xbox, neon skulls, real unique. I was like, that would be it. He was like, hold on. And he went and got it and showed it. And then I got the cops down there and still never got my stuff back. It was wonderful. But I found it.
Right. But if we got a 3D, if we got a 3DS Smash Brothers, I don't know what I would do. Because when the Zelda one released, I didn't trade in my Pokemon one to get the Zelda one. Because the Zelda one was neat. It was black on one side, gold on the other with the Triforce on it. The Pokemon one has the 2 legendary Pokemon from X and Y on the front.
But how many of those actually had the game pre-installed?
I didn't have it
No. It didn't even come with the game. It was just
This
special
the
game.
Smash Brothers 3DS one comes preloaded
Yeah.
with the game.
Right. Which is
I think-
definitely interesting.
I think the Zelda one did come with that
Yes,
game
I believe
installed
so.
on it.
Yeah, our Pokemon one did. Nintendo got to make more money off Pokemon. You sell the DS separate from the game, so
Yeah,
you
that's
make more
weird
money.
because I thought they had that same type
Mm-hmm.
in either Japan or Europe, and it came with the game.
Oh man, the 3DSs, the Pokemon 3DSs, XLs they have out in Japan are better.
Yeah.
Like we got the red and blue, but they got at least 2 others that were better than the ones we got.
And then they also have a 3DS XL in Japan for the Fire Emblem, I think, and then also
Like for the Fire Emblem one here, I got Nick's right here. For the Fire Emblem here, what it has is 2 dragons on the side and the sword in the middle, and it has a little bit of detail over here in the each corner.
but this is just a standard 3DS,
Yes,
not a XL.
this is just a standard 3DS.
I've noticed they're even going out of their way now to incorporate the panels, where you can just buy the panels now for any of the DSs or 3DSs
And snap them on.
or XLs and just clip. This is my favorite game. This is my custom thing.
So now we're on to, first off, the co-op but no online play for Hyrule Warriors. Now, I personally like this.
I do too. Huge fan of it.
I mean, let's face facts, not everyone has access to online features.
Correct, and Nintendo's not as big as like Microsoft and Sony when it comes to that stuff. They're still the co-op, sit on your couch with your friends company.
That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about a game that brings us back to basics. Today, we have fallen so far away from that. Look, okay, I could talk to somebody right now who's in this room who grew up in an age where you played online. Shane. He got into gaming before that, but he's more prevalent in playing, Halos online and everything, even though he did LAN parties and stuff. But what he didn't have was the same experience I had growing up. And I invited him over to my dad's one night when we did it. We played Grandia 3, and we passed that control back and forth for like 4 or 5 hours. Gradius, yeah, it was like 3 or 4 hours easily, just playing this one game.
And not beating it.
And we didn't beat it, but everybody had a great time because everybody was right there in the same room to
making fun of each other, giving each other a hard time,
to make reference to what was going on.
and because nowadays, I don't even have to have my headset plugged into my controller to play online.
Yep.
So it's like I'm playing a single player with others. Like when I played the Destiny beta, I didn't have a headset on.
A lot of people didn't play with the headsets.
I just played the game.
Right, you just play the game.
So it's like a single player, and I could see that there are other players online.
Yeah.
Like when I played Final Fantasy 14, I play the game. It's like I'm playing a Final Fantasy by myself, and I can see that there's other people. Like they could text me stuff, like I can text it back to them, but I don't get on a headset and talk to them.
And of course, that's assuming you even have one of those messenger
And I don't,
pad things. So
because actually, the controller, that's a pain in the ass.
yeah.
But see, when it comes to like a Dynasty Warriors game, there doesn't really need to be any online.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And this is Zelda. Zelda doesn't have any multiplayer online.
Zelda?
Never has.
To be fair, they
did. I'm sorry, Four Swords can be multiplayer.
Yes.
Yeah, multiplayer, but not.
They never did one of these right. On the Dynasty Warriors, like the last time I seen they did it, they were like Dynasty Gundam 3 online multiplayer. It was like 12 missions. That's it. And they were real sad missions that you could beat by yourself in your home without friends.
And the thing about that is that that wasn't Nintendo. So
right, but that's what I'm saying. This is Dynasty Warriors still.
Yeah, it's
They're
still
not going to get it. They just never done it right. They don't know what it takes to make a game where you kill thousands of people and somehow put it online for co-op.
But they do know how to do co-op, as in offline co-op.
Yeah.
And Zelda, I mean, we're going to play it when it comes out next month. I mean, that's obvious. We're going to play the game. And we're all going to... is it 4 players? That's something I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was 2.
Well, even if it's 2, you still pass the controller around.
Yeah.
And we're going to have everybody sitting here playing Zelda, the Hyrule Warriors, and because they've announced a bunch of characters now,
Yeah.
which...
Actually, the next topic we have to go on to is that they confirmed Ganon, or Ganondorf, whichever way you want to call him, is in Hyrule Warriors.
And that's awesome. Because I was wondering that because you can play as Link.
Now, here's my question. They've been doing this. In Hyrule Warriors does not mean playable character.
Playable.
Does it?
He is playable.
So every time they say somebody is in, it guarantees that you can control them.
No.
It's got to be...
There are certain characters that are in the game that you cannot play as.
Because all I'm ever seeing is so-and-so confirmed. But it never says so-and-so confirmed as playable character.
Yeah, this one is.
This
Ganon
one is.
confirmed as playable character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense because look, you want your 3 Triforce people. You got Link with the courage. You can play as Zelda with the wisdom and what? We couldn't play as Ganon with power. Now we can. Now we got the 3 Triforce characters, and Zelda can turn into Sheik.
No, Sheik's a separate one.
Oh yes, you're right. No, that's my fault. Sheik is a separate character.
Yeah, Sheik is going to be separate.
So you can play as Zelda in the dress, or you can play as her as Sheik. And then you got Fa.
Yeah, we got the list right here.
Oh, here we go. We got, obviously, we'll start with the top. We got Link, Princess Zelda,
Oops, wrong way.
Impa, Medea,
Oh, two. Okay.
Medina.
Medina.
That is the woman, that's the girl from Twilight Princess. Sheik. Oh my god. I don't know that one.
Agatha.
She controls bugs.
Agatha.
Agatha.
Daruna?
Darnuna.
I don't know who that is.
Might be from the Skyward Sword.
I played Skyward Sword nearly towards the end, and I don't remember her. You got Princess Ruto. Adult Ruto from, I'm assuming, Ocarina.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the fish lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Zant.
cool.
Now that was the bad guy from
I just
Twilight.
pissed off half the internet with that comment, by the way. They were like, who the fuck is this guy on this damn news show doesn't even know who the fuck the Zelda characters are?
There's only one I don't know so far. And that's Zant, I think. Isn't he from Twilight?
I don't know.
Fa or Fi?
Fee.
She's the goddess sword from Twilight Princess. She can
Okay.
I've seen videos from her. She actually can turn into the sword and attack you. And
That's kind of neat.
And then you got Granham, and he is the faggot, gay-looking bad guy in Twilight Sword.
And then there's Lana.
Lana. Thank you, Lana. I don't. So there's 2 characters on this list, and I have no idea who they are.
But from what they said, they're going to be announcing more people
Yep.
and more, updates, DLC, whatever you want to call it.
If anybody listens to this, maybe you can help me out. There is that one character. I don't know if it's the Lana or the Agatha. She controls insects. I don't know where she's from, or what she. I mean, I don't know anything about her. If you do know something about her, please let us know. Because I certainly don't know her. Unless she's from a different Zelda game, like maybe one of the portable ones I missed. I don't know anything about her. I honestly don't. Because from what it looks like a lot of the characters are using from Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, and Skyward Sword.
Sticking more towards the big hitters,
Yes.
from what
Yeah.
I noticed. And unless you want to count Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword wasn't terrible. It was just a lot of backtracking.
From what I've heard,
A lot of back-
and this is all speculation, I haven't actually got to play it.
Oh god.
I've heard that there is an awful lot of garbage in that game that was just accepted because it happens to be Zelda.
There was.
But then again, wasn't the Skyward Sword supposed to be the actual dawning of the actual timeline?
It
Yes.
doesn't matter. It doesn't get a buy just because it has the name Zelda or is a prequel. If there are parts of the game that are shit,
Yeah, there's a lot.
that
There
makes
are
it
certain
shit.
there are certain parts of the game that suck. And yes, it is the very first game in the timeline.
And yeah, I've heard that from multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
That there are certain things about it. I guess like people at first were talking, oh, this is a long Zelda game. And then I started hearing people be like, you don't understand. It's a long Zelda game. And not in a good way.
So next we have Super Mario Kart is going to be available for the Wii U on the eShop.
Wow. Super Mario Kart.
And you're actually going to be able to use the actual gamepad screen.
Really? For an old game like that?
Yeah.
That might actually be kind of interesting.
Yeah, you play it on your TV or the gamepad screen.
Oh, the gamepad screen.
Oh,
okay,
I thought
that's not quite what I thought you were
I thought the
talking about.
gamepad screen, they were using it as part of the in the game.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant at first,
Like,
too.
Because that would actually be neat and hard because that's an old game. I like Super Mario Kart. I'm not good at that one. I'm not good at any old game.
My issue with Super Mario Kart, I mean, it's cool it's coming out, but, like, it's not the same thing for everybody, but I kind of already have it. So, like, I can't see myself buying it for the Wii.
For me, I don't have a Super.
Right, so that works. And that's the reason I don't have much to say about it for myself, but other people, it's going to be a great opportunity to play one of the greatest games ever made.
It was one of the better Super Mario Karts.
I mean, it was the first Super Mario Kart.
It was the first, yes. And being the first, it's hard to... A lot of games, it's hard to beat the first one. But there are other Mario Karts that because I played the first one. And I found, like I told you, I'm not good at old games. So obviously the newer ones were more appealing to me.
Yes.
If I'm bad, that's why I don't play Rock and Roll Racing.
Because it's so awesome.
And I lost the bill horribly.
A little bit. I mean, you know.
We were also playing on the hardest difficulty because I tried to be a smart ass.
You tried to act like you were something special.
Yes, and I got my ass whooped. Now I won't play it.
The game is not quite as easy as people would imagine. It can be a very tough game, and experience can matter quite a bit. I used to get my ass kicked at that game on a nightly basis by my dad and his brother and their friend. They'd be like, "You want to play, Bill?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it'd be sweet. I'd play Rock and Roll Racing." And they'd be like, "Ah." They'd get all the way almost to the point where they were lapping me, stop, shoot all the way across the track over gaps and kill me as I was crossing the lines. And they'd be like, "Oh, it's so funny." And I'd be like, "Yeah, it's hilarious over here. I'm laughing my ass off." So later on, I got on this emulation kick. Got it from my 95 computer, downloaded the ROM, and I played the thing like it was a religion. And now, today, I have not come across a challenger in a good 7 years. No one can beat me at that game. Not consecutively. Ryan beat me. We played the entire game from the first level all the way to the last. He won probably 14, 15 times, but I was letting him win. He only beat me actually 4 times max. Actually beating me because I could not possibly catch him.
Wow. But with the Mario thing, and I don't have a Wii, so my only Nintendo home console that I have is a Wii U. That would be a good thing for me if I want to go back to the old school days and check that out.
And the price on it isn't that bad. It's just $7.99.
That's actually very cheap.
Now, somebody that'll rock you at that game is Nick. For some reason, he somehow maintained all of the skill that he ever put in to that series. If you play him at Mario Kart 1 or 64 or anything like that, it's as if he never stopped playing it. He's still got all the muscle memory down to an exact science so that he never hits anything, never misses a turn, never screws up a tactic. He will destroy you. It's very irritating because I was like, "Oh yeah, let's put the game in and play." And then he was like, "Look at that bitch." And I'm like, "I can't catch you, you stupid game."
But for me, that would be a good thing. What about you, Scott? Do you have a Wii U?
Not now. I did have one. But something like this would be nice for somebody who can't get their hands on the physical old Super NES cartridge. So
yeah, I think it's a good idea, and I look forward to it.
So now we have being included onto the Virtual Console for the Wii U, Mega Man 5, Mega Man 6, both for NES, Mega Man X3 from the Super Nintendo, and the Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge from the Game Boy Advance.
Know nothing about that last one you said? Know nothing about the Battle Chip Challenge?
They're kind of RPGs.
Okay. But Mega Man 5 to 6 and X3 I know of. Your standard Mega Man game.
Yeah.
So I know that eventually they're gonna have every Mega Man game on the Virtual Console.
Seems like they'll probably have
Yes.
like 90% of the Mega Man games.
And they're doing this, all they're doing is porting all these older Mega Mans to the newer consoles because they're dumb and won't make a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom, that's why you've been liquidated. Is that my right?
I have not been keeping up with that news, but from what I remember hearing,
Let's hope you have been.
they are bankrupt, and I heard.
Oh no! Didn't see that coming.
I heard that their company is either going to be sold as a whole, or that all of their IPs are going to be broke down and sold separate.
Someone buy Mega. If you're listening, anybody, any bigwigs listening, you buy that Mega Man.
I want Nintendo to get Mega Man. I want Nintendo to own him because Nintendo will do something with him. And not only will they make him a flagship again, Nintendo pays attention to their bigwigs. Like Mario, when there's a Mario game, you just buy it. You just go get it.
Because there's only been a handful of bad Mario games.
They're far and few between. Like, it is rare to find a Mario game where
Baseball,
you're like, this
soccer,
is ass.
that's dumb.
And even then,
they're still good. They're just dumb. But Mario Golf is dumb, but it's good.
Yeah, people are still buying it.
That's sad. We can sit there and say it's a good game. It's just stupid.
Although,
but Mega Man,
I had no issues with the baseball one though.
No, I played the soccer one. I had some issues with that.
I think the basketball one they had was.
Well, when it comes down to it, Capcom sucks. Wow, and they really do. Resident Evil has sucked. And the only way they're making money is by re-releasing Street Fighter, adding more characters and more stages. I don't know why you guys are dumb. You did that with Super Street Fighter. You did that with Street Fighter 2.
They gotta take like 20 games to get to the next number.
They do, and that's what they did with fucking Street Fighter 2. Especially, I think that game had the most.
Oh man!
And I'm like, why did you guys do that? Like, what was going through your mind when you did that? That is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard of. And you're letting your big franchise, like especially Resident Evil. That's a big franchise you guys own. That's gone to hell. Your Devil May Cry's gone to hell. All your shit's going to hell because you're stupid. You don't listen to what the people want. People don't want another fucking version of Street Fighter. We don't want shitty Resident Evil. And now I do know that what they're doing with one of the Resident Evil games. There's a recent reveal. I won't get into it because that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is Mega Man coming to the Virtual Console. And that's fine. That's fine if you want to port those older games onto the newer consoles.
For people to play.
But the fact that you lost the guy who created Mega Man, and the fact that you lost him, and the fact that he's going to beat the shit out of you with this mighty number 9 that he's been developing, that tells you a lot. And the fact that he completely ripped it off from Mega Man. Like, the dude even looks like Mega Man.
Yes. In fact, I've already seen pictures where they take, like, Mega Man to Mega Man X to Mighty Number 9 in, like, sequence. Like, they're all firing down, like, a timeline.
And he's changing just a few things so he doesn't get sued. since he doesn't technically own Mega Man.
He's like, that ain't Mega Man.
And then there's the the Mighty Number 9 series that's coming out.
Yes, like everybody. And then there's a game coming out on August 29th. It's from the guys who are making Mighty Number 9, and it looks like another Mega Man-esque game. I might be wrong. I can't think of the name. I'll look it up while you guys talk about Mega Man.
I think it feels like when. The only thing about these games coming out that don't do anything for me is, first off, I have like all of them. The only one I'm missing is if you want to count the Game Boy games. Or for that matter, the incredibly rare Sega and Game Gear games. I don't have those. There's one Game Gear game.
One?
I think there's one. That's it. And it's something else. Like, it's awful. It's not good, man. It's awful.
I will be with you guys in a second when they figure out what this game is called. I looked it up earlier today, and I just didn't get the name of it. But they said it was from the makers of Mighty Number 9, and so and it looked like another Mega Man-esque game. So that tells you that Capcom sucks. That this dude is just busting out games that are like Mega Man, what people have been wanting. Mega Man's been missing for a long time, and you guys had plans to do Mega Man games, and then you
There's
canceled.
been plans. There's always been plans for Mega Man games, but they cancel. Like
cancel.
Like the Nintendo 3DS. There was supposed to be a Mega Man Legends game for it.
Yep. And what'd you guys cancel it for? To make another Street Fighter? You fucking morons. That's why. And if everything is true, like Bill said, we haven't been keeping up on what's going on with Capcom. But if you guys did get liquidated and you went bankrupt, that's your own damn fault because you're stupid.
Why can't this happen to Square Enix, since they don't like listening to the fans either?
Square Enix doesn't like money.
So Capcom probably doesn't like money either.
No.
Maybe that's something about becoming a big company.
You just don't like money.
Maybe in order to become a big company, you have to, like, seriously hate money so you'll get money.
Because I'm telling you, especially with Square Enix, if you're not making good Final Fantasies anymore. I mean, you did 10 on HD, and that was a good idea. That really was, because I like 10 a lot. It was one of my favorite ones. But your 15 better be good. Otherwise, people are not going to want to talk. Anytime everyone's like, man, new Final Fantasy, people are going to be like, I don't fucking care. Okay.
What, you found it?
Yes. Azure Striker Gunvolt is a side-scrolling action game by Mega Man creator Kenji Inafune. If I'm butchering that, I apologize. For the Nintendo 3DS. It'll be on the eShop on August 29th, and since it's from the Mega Man creator, it does look like a Mega Man game. I mean, the guy himself, he doesn't have a gun arm, but he does have a gun.
Maybe it's a prequel to Mighty Number 9.
It could also be that. And it's from Mega Man creator. See, so he's doing Mega Man-esque games. They're just not Mega Man. And it looks neat from what I've seen. But Azure Striker Gunvolt. That's what the game's called. August 29th. Play it and support him and not Capcom. Because, there's only so many times you can buy Street Fighter.
Now then, let's go into Mortal Kombat X. Raiden and Kano are confirmed to be in it. So, how about some opinions about that?
Yay to Raiden, boo to Kano.
I don't know how much I care.
I've actually seen some gameplay with Raiden, and he looks really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just the person who's controlling him is really good at the game. But that dude is a monster. He can combo the shit out of you, dude.
Well, it's probably being played by the developers and stuff.
And I can only, because if I play, I probably will suck with Raiden. But he looks sweet. And Kano looks like Kano.
Yeah, they actually have him down as one of his styles was going to be wrestling.
I don't like Kano.
Yeah.
I've never liked Kano.
Yeah, I've never.
He's been one of the derpy characters of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I didn't like his story. I thought he had a crappy story. I thought he was a crappy fighter. I thought he was a crappy dude. I mean, he has a robotic eye. That's pretty sweet, but that's not enough to fucking make you cool. I'd just say his eye's cool. I don't like Kano at all. Raiden, I do like Raiden. He's the
God of
thunder
Thunder.
god. So I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to this Mortal Kombat. Technically, looking forward to beating Bill's ass with Sub-Zero.
It's possible, I guess.
He'll use Scorpion.
They figure.
Because everyone loves Scorpion. That's everyone's favorite character, is Scorpion. Scorpion eats dick. You do know that, right? When he died, he had dick in his mouth. And for all eternity, he has to eat dick. It's part of his story. Read it.
I see.
Sub-Zero is awesome. When he died, in the old story, when the original Sub-Zero died, he came back as Awesome Sub-Zero. That's what it's called. And he became immortal because he's awesome. I just made a bunch of shit up. But pretty much is Sub-Zero's cooler than Scorpion. And Nick will agree with me. Agree with me, Nick.
I actually prefer Liu Kang.
No.
He is not a ninja-looking character.
No, he's not. He bicycle kicks you from all the way across the screen.
Next time I say, hey, what Shaolin monk do you like? We'll answer that, but I know we're at ninjas, man.
Ninja? You want ninja that I like the
Oh my
most?
God, you don't pick...
Smoke.
Smoke?
Smoke.
And Noob Sabat.
Oh, no, I forgot about him. He's cool, too.
Because both of them are ninjas.
They both are better than
I think Noob Saibot they could probably throw into Mortal Kombat
I wonder
X.
if he would make it in. That would be sweet. Technically, Cyrax and Sector were part of the Lin Kuei, which are a ninja group.
Which are now robots.
Making,
So is Smoke.
and so is Sub-Zero now. Right? Am I right? Sub-Zero a robot?
Yes.
There.
Which is stupid.
In Mortal Kombat X, was he a robot?
In
Or was
the,
he just a...
in the remake, he became a robot.
Okay.
In the reboot, which is called 9 or whatever. But
Okay.
what about this likelihood that there will be guest characters for Mortal Kombat X, and who do you think they
In
could?
before Superman with the only fatality of neck break. I'm calling it now. In before.
Well, it really depends.
Because it'll be hilarious.
You're looking at a Mortal Kombat game that's bloody as hell, that has a lot of gory stuff in it, and to bring a guest character in, such as Superman, which you would ruin his image for if he came in and started tearing people apart.
No, he doesn't tear them apart. He just breaks necks.
That would be probably the best solution.
Or if he doesn't break necks, he can have another fatality of lobotomy.
But
Done.
if you want to bring in Superman, you'd have to bring in like the dark Superman from Injustice.
you could do that because then they could get away
Red
with,
Kryptonite ring Superman.
That too.
Done.
or
Maybe
Kill
Batman.
all the things.
Batman.
Batman won't
Batman
kill.
could.
They won't kill. They won't.
Well, Batman doesn't intentionally kill. I think we've been over this a couple times. Batman doesn't intentionally kill. It just happens sometimes.
Now,
Just never shown.
in the the remake, there was like Freddy Krueger was introduced. They could introduce some other horror characters.
Jason Voorhees.
No, because Jason Voorhees is invincible.
As opposed to Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, but look how many times
Oh!
Jason's... How many
Let
times?
the debate begin.
How many times has Jason died but still came
I
back?
don't know how many movies.
Look at how many times Scorpion has died and come back.
Jason X.
Oh,
So that's like
God.
10 movies.
Oh, there's technically like
And then the Freddy versus Jason, and then
the remake of
this remake
Friday the
of
13th
yeah.
and a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which they're doing.
You know who would be cool that nobody probably remembers is listening to this? Pinhead.
Pinhead. How about Ash from Evil Dead?
You chainsaw people to death. That'd be kind of neat.
I know Captain Spaulding, so I can kill him.
Yeah, Captain Spaulding.
Over
That's a guy that needs to be in
over.
Mortal Kombat.
I will kill him over and over and over.
Actually, Captain Spaulding should be in one of the Twisted Metals
No.
Because that would be epic.
Yes, that would be epic.
Well,
No,
they have
we're
Rob
not.
Zombie. Why not?
I'm sorry I brought that up. I take it back. If we can go back in time, I would. Never mentioned that. I don't.
You know what? It would not change this current timeline. You would just create an alternate timeline where you.
And I'll go live in that alternate timeline.
No, you won't. You would desync out of that timeline and create a new you.
One that's probably doesn't feel like that dude is creepy.
Probably. It's a possibility.
That guy is creepy. I don't want to talk about him anymore. Guest characters. Even though I brought it up.
I don't know. It all depends. There might even be system-specific ones.
Yeah, I mean, there was with the last one with Kratos.
Yep.
Yep, for PlayStation and Xbox guys.
Never know. Maybe we'll get a new Dante.
What about for the Xbox?
It could be on both. Devil May Cry was on both systems.
I thought
Or if
something
they want to
weird.
do like...
What about Lara Croft?
And Immortal what?
Lara Croft for maybe like the Xbox One version.
She could shoot the shit out of somebody until they are no longer a person.
Yeah, but that's kind of like a Sonya Blade character that doesn't really know how to do the, military training and police training type stuff. Some girl who just learned how to survive.
And?
Yeah, because they would
Do you think she wouldn't have like a knife and like bow and
they
arrow?
would- they
Bow
would
and
be-
arrow.
they
There you
get
go.
over
Night
here.
Wolf.
Dead.
They would be
That's
using.
true.
They would.
Freeze.
They would.
Dead.
They would be using the new Lara Croft, who only had one game, and she just learned how to survive. So she's not quite at where she is supposed to be, because Laura is a pretty bad bitch. She really is.
She's
Later in life,
a
she becomes a badass, but she's not there yet.
Maybe we could throw in a Power Ranger.
No,
Lord Zed.
because that's not fair. Because sparks would fly, they would stand up.
Lord Zed has no skin,
He'd be
so I mean,
victorious.
he would be sweet looking.
He would be awesome, but it's never going to happen.
You hear that, NetherRealm Studio? Lord Zed.
So that'll do for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Thanks for the guys here for joining me for this episode. And I'll let them do their own sign-off.
You mean our sign off?
Yours, you guys.
Steven, you are part of
Yeah,
us now.
I am part of the Reploid Productions, but I know you guys do your own sign-offs for...
Because I did crack that joke. You have been assimilated. We are the Reploid. Resistance is futile.
Yeah, but I know Bill usually does the sign-off for the group, so...
I usually do. I wasn't going to impose or nothing
Pretty
like
much,
that.
go check out our YouTube channel of Reploid Productions.
Without a doubt, it's very important to do such a thing.
ReploidProductions.com is our website. We have a fan page on Facebook. It's Reploid Productions. Come and join. Do some discussions.
Listening to our podcast. We're on Podkicker. We're now on iTunes. Go to iTunes and rate our videos. Our podcast.
Fives would be
Most
Fives.
important.
5 stars!
Fives are important.
Trying to spread the group around.
It's like, give us 5 stars.
We'll
make Shane dance around without a shirt.
and that will. I have a 6-pack, so the ladies will love that.
6-pack of beer. Yeah. That's
Six-
how we're going to make you do it.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.